9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors, developed by Chunsoft in like 2009. I played it on the Nintendo DS, and it blew my freaking mind. I'm very excited to share it with you. All of this will make sense. Now it is time. Let our game begin. So here we go. You will start from the beginning of the game. I know that. So I now have all of my kinks ironed out. I know how to have the screens be arranged with each other. I have that annoying menu bar on the bottom gone away with. And I can play this on the touchscreen. Let's do it. Top screen on the left. Screen on the right. Count. Now you might be saying, what the heck? To which I say, I know, right? A loud noise startled Junpei awake, and his eyes snapped open. As they adjusted to the light, he realized that he didn't recognize his surroundings. Ow! With a crack, Junpei's head connected with something metal. He rolled over and threw out his hand to steady himself, but he found himself groping at empty air. His balance lost, and his still fuzzy mind struggling to understand what was going on, Junpei tumbled down to the cold gray floor. Ouch, god damn it! Ow, what the hell? Junpei glared around the room, still trying to determine where he'd woken up. The fall had shaken the last cobwebs of sleep from his mind. Finally, he understood where he'd fallen from. It was a bed. A 3-level bunk bed, in fact. Junpei had fallen, apparently, from the topmost bunk. His shoulders hurt, his knee hurt, his hip hurt, his entire body hurt. He could feel a bump forming on his forehead, where he'd slammed against the low ceiling. He wondered if that bump was the reason he felt his vision wavering a bit, but that seemed unlikely. So large swaths of this game are going to be this visual novel style, where things will just happen and people will talk, and then it's going to be terrifying puzzle shit. Promise it's thrilling. At first, he thought the tremor that ran through his legs was just another effect of this rude awakening, but as he looked around, he realized it was real. The whole room was shaking. Was it an earthquake, he wondered? It didn't seem likely. It was shaking far too quickly for an earthquake. Then again, Junpei had no idea what it was, if not an earthquake. He tried to tell himself it was important. Junpei rubbed the growing bump on his head and gingerly climbed to his feet. His balance regained, he finally took his first good look around the room. Okay, and muttered to himself, "Where am I?" His pain momentarily forgotten in the face of the confusion of his circumstances, Junpei looked around the room once again. Minutes passed while Junpei struggled to get his bearings. Then, as suddenly as they had begun, tremors ceased. A cold silence fell over the room. From somewhere far away, Junpei could hear the sound of metal squeaking. He felt his stomach tighten. There were 1,000 things the sound could have been, but none of the things he could think of were good. In an attempt to distract himself, Junpei looked around the room once more. There was a stove that looked more antique than functional. The 3-level bunk bed had mattresses that were so thin that they were little more than blankets. On the other side of the room was an identical bed, and set in the wall between the beds was a slightly dirty iron door. First thing Junpei noticed about the door was the number roughly emblazoned across it. On the surface of the door, in red paint, someone had written 5. 5? What's this 5 mean? Suspicious and still utterly confused, Junpei approached the door slowly. What's this 5 mean? Standing at last in front of the door, Junpei grabbed hold of the L-shaped handle. A push yielded no movement, and a pull the same result. A few more tries cemented the truth in Junpei's mind. It wouldn't open. Didn't matter how much he pushed and shoved, the handle wouldn't budge. Next to the door was an odd-looking device that reminded Junpei of a card reader. It didn't take a genius to figure out that the odd-looking device was keeping the door shut. Junpei knocked hard on the door. Knock. Hey! Hello? Is anyone there? Open the door. There was no response. Junpei threw his left fist into the door and stopped. What the hell is this? He wasn't really sure what else to say. On his left wrist was a bracelet of a sort he'd never seen before. In the center was a large LCD display. It looked like nothing else so much as a watch, but it clearly wasn't that. After all, it showed only a single number. 5. That's the same as the door. True, the numbers were the same, but he had no idea what that might mean. All he knew was that it was strange and new, and he wanted it off. Junpei flipped his hand over as if to remove a watch, but the other side of the bracelet was solid, no buckle, no clasp, nothing. He sighed and flipped the thing back over. There were a number of rivets around the rim of the face. Perhaps he pushed them, but nothing happened. On a watch, there might be dials for adjusting date or time, but on this bracelet, they did nothing. Junpei was at a loss. What was he going to do? Growing more desperate, he began to tug at it. However, damn. Oh, it's no good. Damn thing won't come off. A steel ring ran from the face around Junpei's wrist and back into the face. He wouldn't be pulling the bracelet off any time in the near future. What the hell is the deal with this thing? Frustration and desperation were beginning to mix as the reality of the situation began to dawn fully on Junpei. So much was happening, and none of it made sense. Junpei felt as though he were about to explode. Where am I? And why the hell am I here? Why? Why? What the hell happened to me? It was at that moment that he noticed the window. The window was round, rimmed and riveted brass like a window from an early 20th century ship. What? Wait, am I in a ship? Junpei walked slowly toward the window. He could see nothing beyond it but thick, impenetrable darkness. Junpei squinted, trying to see something, anything. It was at that moment. What the? You gotta be kidding me. What the hell is going on here? A crack split the glass of the window, and for a moment Junpei stared at it. Then the window burst, and water began to pour into the room. What the hell? God damn it! Junpei yelled and spun around. His feet slipping on the water already coming through the window, he ran for the door. Hey! Anyone? Is anyone there? Come on, if you're there, say something. There was no reply. As Junpei screamed and pounded on the door, the water began to rise. It was now ankle deep on the floor and rising quickly toward his knees. Things were not looking good for Junpei. Not good at all. He needed to find a way out, and quickly. Junpei ran a hand across his forehead, brushing the sweat out of his eyes, and looked around the room. Operations during an escape. During an escape, you can move to different parts of the room by touching the bottom screen. Since many areas require very exact selection, we recommend you use the stylus, and I am. It's not a Nintendo DS stylus because this is not a Nintendo DS. Searching during an escape. You can touch the background to search anywhere in the room. Areas you can investigate will be highlighted yellow the moment you touch them. Depending on the nature of the location you touch, you might find an item or a hint. Begin searching by touching places on the bottom screen. How to move. Touch the triangle icon on the bottom screen. There's little arrows on the sides and on the bottom of the screen. Doing so will change the viewing angle of the room and move you to different locations. You can do the same thing by pressing left, right, and down on the control pad. Bird's eye view. If you want to know where you are, touch X on the camera icon on the bottom screen. This will show you where you are and what direction you're facing. This becomes extremely important, as you'll see in this room. Saving during an escape. Pressing start will allow you to save. If you want to quit, we recommend pressing start. The purpose of the escape is to get out of the room. Thanks, Dad. How you do that depends on the room. You'll need to search all throughout the room to discover what you'll need to do to get out. Search for hints and items that may help you find a way out. Okay, now, full disclosure on this one, I actually did a whole other take of this, but my audio was all janked, so I already know the solution to this room's puzzle, but I am very stupid, so I probably forgot a lot of it, and either way I'm going to be showing you how to do all of it, because I will have to solve the puzzles again in order. Let's escape a room. But first, let's save a game. You gotta save your game on these things, guys. Would you like to quit? No. Alright. Oh, what's this here? Doesn't seem like there's anything hidden in the sink. This is the only drain in this room. Well, that's bad news. During an escape, investigating certain parts of the room will allow you to obtain items. I must have just obtained one. You can go to the item screen. Probably won't be reading much of the tutorial stuff aloud because that teaches me how to play the game and you're not playing the game. Red and blue, right to left. Interesting. Investigate with an item. Touching an item while on the item screen will select that item. So it's looking around the room, picking up stuff, and then bonking those things into each other until something happens. This shows the door, and you can hold the item and then poke stuff with the item. You've played video games. You've played adventure games. You've done room escapes. Picture frame. An old picture frame. There's a picture of a ship in it. The screws keeping the back on. That's odd. A pair of simple chairs next to the table. The water's already up to the chair. Actually, no. I'm gonna start. Let's start here. There's a blue briefcase on top of the bed. And it's locked. In the keyhole. A small keyhole. If I want to open the briefcase, I need to fill it up with a key. What an odd way to put that, Junpei. Or narrator, or whoever. I can keep looking till the cows come home. All I'm gonna find up here is that pillow. Damn it. Damn it, isn't there anything else I can use? Can't see the bottom of the ladder. Oh man, the water's already up to the bottom of the bed. Gotta hurry this up. This is the door to the stove. Well, it opens easily enough. Sure wish the door to get out of here was that easy to open. That solves the mystery of whether or not this stove has been used before. What's this? It looks red. Ah, a screwdriver. Combining items. You can take two items you found and combine them. They may turn into something else. To do this, select an item on the item screen and touch combine to bump the things together. If the two items can be combined, you'll receive a new item. If they can't be combined, nothing will happen. Let's see if there's anything in here. Looks like there is. A key. Yep, that's key, all right. Little blue one. This is totally a stove. Nothing inside, though. So I have the blue key, but I'll need to figure out what the passcode is. Something's got to have that, right? Let's keep checking beds. Ah! A thing. Okay. So now, I don't think I know where to go, but I can see that there's this whole thing over here on the left side, bottom left of the map that I haven't looked at. And oh, that's a red briefcase. Let's start over here. Aha. A small key, red. Junpei grabbed the key and shoved it into his pocket. He intended to leave immediately, but something stopped him. His reflection stared back at him from the mirror, but he had scarcely recognized himself. What's up with my face? His confusion was well justified. His face was drawn and pale, and dark circles under his eyes made him look as though he was nearly dead. Man, what the hell happened to me? How did I end up here? Even as he said it, something in his mind opened, and a memory bobbed to the surface. It was the last thing Junpei remembered before waking up in the strange room. It was past midnight when he came home. Junpei shuffled up the stairs and opened the door to apartment 201. See, this is, I love this stuff. It is text and sound effects and nothing else. It's primal. I'm charmed. Inside was his apartment, a small one-bedroom affair that ran him about $630 a month. 2009 rent, right? He moved into it when he entered college, and so far he'd been there for 3 years and 7 months. He stepped inside and turned on the lights. The fluorescent lights on the ceiling blinked and flickered slowly to life, as if waking from a deep slumber. Their cold light illuminated the landscape he'd come home to so many times before. Everything was as he'd left it. The magazines piled up in the corner, the textbooks collecting dust, the CD cases covering the floor, the jeans and t-shirt he'd worn the day before, then tossed onto the floor. There was one thing that didn't belong, however. There was a breeze. Breaths of cold night air wafted into his apartment, carrying the smells of autumn with them. The white curtain framing his window swayed gently in the wind. Huh, that's weird. Did I leave that open? Junpei walked toward the window, trying to remember if he'd closed it or not before he left. One of the panes was hanging open. He stuck his head out and looked around. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary. Junpei shrugged. He must have just left it open earlier. He closed the window. Then it happened. Junpei turned and found himself face to mask with a man dressed all in black. The man wore a deep hood and a bulky gas mask. His face was entirely hidden. Junpei tried to scream, but all he could manage was a strangled croak. He tried to step toward the man, but his legs could no longer support his weight. Junpei collapsed to the floor, a crumpled heap of limbs like a discarded puppet. Too late, he noticed the white smoke that was quickly filling his apartment. A small object, shaped distressingly like a grenade, sat on the floor in front of his face, hissing. The white smoke poured out of it at an incredible rate. The smoke had grown so thick that the details of Junpei's apartment began to fade into the white haze. He could feel his mind begin to fade as well, a white haze that was not the smoke creeping into the edges of his vision. Consider this a privilege. You have been chosen. A rasping voice wormed its way out of the gas mask. It was cold and harsh and distorted in some way Junpei couldn't put his finger on. You are going to participate in a game. The nonary game. It is a game where you will put your life on the line. That was the last thing Junpei remembered. The white smoke overpowered him. The masked man faded from his vision, and he felt his consciousness fall away into the white mist. That's right. That guy with the gas mask. That son of a bitch must have taken me here. As to who the man was, or might have been, Junpei had no idea. Indeed, he wasn't even sure that his assailant had been a man. The voice had been cold and mechanical, likely passed through a voice changer. The body had been covered in a thick cloak. Who was the man in the mask? You have been chosen. Junpei remembered that much, but what it might mean, that was beyond him. Junpei had no idea where he was or why he was there. There was only one thing from his memory that seemed important. You are going to participate in a game. The nonary game. It is a game where you will put your life on the line. The nonary game, huh? What the hell is a nonary game? God damn it. With a yell, Junpei drove his fist into the mirror. Nothing left on the mirror. So now, up here, the last bit. It's a closet. So, I need to open up the item screen. Use the screwdriver on. Well, the screwdriver got those screws off easily enough, and here's the picture. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Starts at the bottom left. I can do it that way then. So someone wrote a bunch of numbers and symbols in the back of the picture, huh? So blue. Wait, shit. Solid is 0. 1 through 5 are empty, 6 through 9 colored in. Zero, 2. 6, 3. Right? Let's try it. Blue one. Let's see what happens if I put this blue key in the keyhole. And nothing. I guess I'm going to need some sort of code for the dial. Minigames. All operations for the mini games are done by touching the bottom screen. Thanks, Dad. Some mini games will require you to manipulate something, while others will only require you to apply the right object or touch the right thing. Enter 4 numbers. Ah. All right, let's see if these numbers work. Enter the key, and it looks like it's working. Yes. All right, let's open it up. Yes. Oh, and looks like there's something in here. What is this? A file? File screen. If you find any documents, the information on them will be available from the file screen. Touch file in the top right at the bottom screen. Select files by touching them. Thanks, Dad. Okay. All right, let's see what's in this file. Digital root. Let's see here. This becomes important. Compute a digital root with the following steps. First, add all the numbers in question to one another. If you end up with something greater than a single-digit number, add the digits to one another again. For instance, if you have double-digit number, add the number in the tens place to the number in the ones place. Keep adding digits in this manner until you have a single-digit answer. This game rules because it has so many complicated ideas that come up later, and they are explained with just as much depth and belaborment as this extremely simple idea. That final single digit is your digital root. The digital root of 6, 7, 8 would be 6 plus 7 plus 8 is 21, 2 plus 1 is 3. The digital root is 3. 1, 2, 3, 4 is 10, 1 plus 0 is 1. Digital root of 1, 2, 3, 4 is 1. I see. So I just keep adding numbers until I get a single digit number. Do you get it? Oh, it looks like there's something in the back of this thing. A notebook, a pen, a calculator, and a stack of key cards. Huh. Looks like some key cards. Number written on each card, 6, 7, 8. Does that mean something? Well, that's new material has been added to the file screen. Calculator. The calculator screen can be used during an escape or during a novel sequence. During an escape, you can access it by pressing Y. This will open the calculator screen. To operate the calculator, touch the bottom screen. When using the calculator, the numbers on the top are your... Okay, have you used a calculator? This is that. Calculator can also calculate a digital root, which will be important to the progression of the story. I want to look at the file and see what that actually looks like. So, oh, I see. Calculator controls. Search. Helpful, and written differently. Let's look at, not the closet. Seven. 4. Seven, 4. Wait, 7, 4, 8, 5? 7, 4, 8, 5. Think. Yep, there's a lock on this one too, and it's not opening. Alright, let's stick the red key in there, and it's not opening. It's not doing anything at all. Well, alright, I guess I can move the tile. Looks like I'm going to have to put in the right numbers. If I do that, this thing should pop right open. Let's give it a shot. Operation instructions for how to do a thing that I've already done. Damn it, it's not opening. Oh, I pushed the wrong button. Fuck. 7, 4, 5. Give this another shot. Touching the dial will cause it to move. Thanks, Dad. Yes, I unlocked it. Feels good every time. There's a stack of red key cards in the briefcase. Give them to me. Okay. I did say that the thing by the door looked like a card reader. Let's see if it works like one too. These cards with numbers on them. I'm pretty sure this is where I'm supposed to use them. All right, let's slide this card and see if it works. And... Huh? Not working. Why? Damn it. No, that's right. I still have cards I haven't used. Not again. There aren't any more cards in here. I've only got one other hint. The files. That file said something about a digital root. A digital root, huh? What am I supposed to do with... There's a 5 on that door. Do I have to get a digital root of 5? I'm not really sure about this, but whatever, it's worth a shot. I'll just slide the cards that give me the digital root of 5. It was... One plus 6 is 7. There we go. I think this is gonna work. There we go. Made a new noise. Did it just unlock? Well, that light was red and now it's blue. No doubt about it. There's nothing keeping me in here now. Time to go. You found it. Accompanied by a wall of angry water, Junpei shot out of the room and into the opposing wall. Gasping to catch his breath, he looked around. He was in a narrow hallway. The water that had followed him out of the room was rapidly pouring out of the door. It flowed quickly down the hallway and slammed into the foot of the short flight of stairs, like that one scene towards the end of the movie Titanic. Just 5 steps, in fact. And at the top of this short staircase, a door. Another door. Junpei leapt up the stairs straight for the door. The door burst open and Junpei exploded out of it, only to freeze in his tracks. What other possible response could there have been to what he saw? What the hell? His voice trailed off and all he could do was stare. A polished floor stretched out before him, ornate staircases rising up from the edges, each one of them equidistant from the others. Wait, that's the staircase from Titanic. The stairs and pillars were solid wood, and Art Nouveau embellishments and decorations covered the walls and pillars. It looked like nothing so much as the entrance to a luxurious mansion from the early 1900s, or an incredibly famous giant ship. Junpei couldn't help but wonder, was he really in a ship? The water quickly filling the hallway behind him suggested that yes, he was. As he looked, a fresh wave rolled out of the room he'd been in, gathering speed as it moved towards the stairs. Yeah, that's what I thought. This is totally a wait, what the hell? A wave? Shit, I gotta get out of here. Junpei spun around, his wet shoes squeaking in protest on the polished floor, and ran toward the tremendous staircase in front of him. C deck. B deck. As he ran, he glanced quickly at the plates mounted on the wall, denoting the decks of the ship. He took the stairs 2 at a time, not entirely sure where he would find himself. Just as he began to wonder where, in fact, the stairs did lead, Junpei saw another person out of the corner of his eye. He stopped short, nearly tripping over the next stair, and looked. It wasn't just one person he'd seen. On the landing to the left of the stairs, there were 4 people staring at him. And on the right side, 3 more. All told, there were 7 of them. It looked as though they had been on their way down the stairs. They'd stopped short when they saw Junpei, their eyes wide. I think at this point is where I'm going to save and take a break, because we're about to meet the rest of the cast. If I could write this file, yes I would. And with that, we'll see you in a bit.